I tell you, being here in Florida, some of these measures sound certainly draconian, but a lot of the world is taking a similar stance in the way that they deal with COVID. The CDC just revised their guidelines here in the US and have identified regions based on their risk. So the appropriate mask recommendations are being done by regions based on the number of new COVID cases in hospitals and other metrics. Where is Canada today? You mentioned that basketball started yesterday for spectators. Is this a change in other areas as well? Where's Canada today in this process?
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's the beginning of some real change and some real, kind of restoration in the freedoms that we all like to enjoy. And as of yesterday, we had a couple of provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan, both came forward and they're removing their mask mandates. They're removing the vaccine passports. We're seeing Ontario, which is the most populous province, has about 44% of our population. They're about to remove their vaccine passports. British Columbia, which was kind of on the other side of things where they weren't going down the mask path, they were a little bit slow on the passports. And then they kind of reversed course and now they went a bit too far. They're kind of the last province to recognize that we need to follow the science, that this is not a pandemic anymore, that this is an endemic, and that we need to kind of move into a new stage of what we should expect. So we're hoping next week that they'll release some new guidelines to allow people to go back to normal. And I mean, I take my kids to skating or something, and you see these little kids wearing masks, and it's just, we're doing a skating lesson. Why do you have your 5-year-old wearing a mask? It just, we need to go back to some sense of sanity, I think, in that regard. And just to your point, I mean, I traveled down to Florida really early in the pandemic back in 2020, and it was weird. It was very odd because I got to the airport here in Toronto, and there was probably 6 people on my plane flying south. I had to connect through Charlotte. I got off the plane, and I went from an airport that I'm used to being, this bustling major airport, in a metropolitan city like Toronto, to being in Charlotte, getting off and seeing this absolutely packed full airport. Every bay's got a flight going somewhere, thousands of people wearing masks, not wearing masks, and I actually froze. I felt like I was walking through a time machine or into a zombie apocalypse. I didn't know what to expect. And then coming down into Florida and having this experience where, we went to a game together. We saw the Raptors play the Magic, and we saw some great basketball, but there was maybe 100 people in there. Half of them were Raptors fans, which I liked, but it was weird to kind of get that experience and see that there is the ability to continue to live a life that's fulfilling, that isn't being dictated by mandates and government rules, that you can still enjoy yourself and be safe.